Hello, one and all. Welcome to another edition of Quantum Tarot, whereby exploiting quantum entanglement, I read your cards in advance. So today we're doing the blue numbers, edition number 3. So we've already done 1 to 10 in the first edition. Then we did 11 to 21 in the second edition. So today we're going to be doing 22 to 31. 22 to 31. So if you read the description before you enter this video, you would know to have picked a number between 22 and 31. And I'm going to try my best to, as I go along, focus on everybody who picked those numbers and try to make the reading as general as possible so that I can really apply it to as many people that find this video, because it doesn't matter about the linear perception of time, the fact that I'm doing this now and you're watching this later. Time is more like a circle, and everything is actually interconnected. The past, the present, the future, all coexisting simultaneously. So there is absolutely no reason right now why I cannot do these cards for you. But it does mean I got to be general, because I'm doing these readings for everybody who finds this video throughout all time. Alright, so I can't be too specific, because it won't work that way. So I am going to randomize the numbers, and this will discourage people from just picking, the number 1, number 2, or in this case, 22, 23. Because I really want you to pick the first thing that comes to your mind without any bias. So it's a randomized order, and I'm going to let everyone know that in the video, and I will also include timestamps in the video afterwards so that you can find the corresponding reading with the number that you chose. How does that sound? Sound good to you? Sounds good to me. Let's get the show on the road. Now I'm going to make sure I've got this video shooting at the right thing. I'm just going to assume it's shooting at the right thing, whatever that means. So let's get the show on the road. Let's get the show on the road. Let's start off with number 24. So for all those that picked 24, where to put my cards? Right here. For all those that picked number 24, this reading is for you, okay? So I want to focus on what is the most relevant and pressing situation. And I'm not clairvoyant, by the way. I'm not psychic, but I can clear myself as a channel, and just through consciousness, which encompasses all of time, channel the right answers to the question of my intention. And my intention is focusing on all of those who chose 24, who have chosen it, who are here right now, who found this video. They chose 24. The issue for them. Alright, so Page of Pentacles. So there might be problems with work, or with establishing loans for a home or for a business. The page is really about getting resources together and getting information so that you can know what to do next. It's like a child. They're all about that first phase of just learning and getting an idea before they become a knight and start pursuing the idea. This is the very first stages of development on beginning a quest. And Pentacles is always finances. It can be to do with home, with work. Okay, so I'd say that the issue here is there could be financial issues, or one's looking for work, like I said, or one's looking to get information or even get a loan of some kind. Let's see more on this situation. Page of Swords. So I definitely think someone's getting information so that they can, start a project or get, like I said, build a home. But they're focusing on the Page of Swords is pretty much the same as the Page of Pentacles. It's all about getting an idea, but the Swords is more about communication with people. It's more about ideas. So this is literally the acquisition of ideas, maybe to get one out of a financially tricky situation. All right. More on that. Okay, so it's causing some financial stress. This could be to do with marriage for some of you. This could be to do with a divorce, where they're taking half, and this could represent the legal proceedings. And this would be warning not to go into it too naively, okay? And to make sure you're listening to other people who have a better idea of how things work in that area. Because the page, they can be prone to ignorance, because they don't really understand the full picture yet. They're not too experienced. But whatever the situation is, it could even be that you're in a relationship and it's draining your pockets, or you feel that you're providing for someone and it's just too much. So what's the biggest obstacle in this situation? Ace of Wands. Wow, okay. So somebody's coming in very strong in this situation. Whether this is you or another person, you've acted out impulsively. You've you received a burst of energy and you jumped into something all in, and that's what this represents, is that first spark. Usually it's a positive card representing the very beginning, the initial spark that ignites you like a car, right? Ignition, and gets you going into something. Whether it's traveling, whether it's work, whether it's a relationship, it's something that really has picked you up and moved you, and you didn't need to think about it too much. This is very much impulse and fire, spirit. It just drove you ambitiously to jump into this thing. That's the obstacle in this, is that someone might be too headstrong. Somebody's trying to assert their will over you. And that could be, if that's the relationship situation and it's leaving you out of pocket, this could be the other person who's asserting their will over you, or this could simply be that you don't have enough information to deal with that person or that situation, and other people's willpower is winning. But I'd say this is the right way up, so I'd say that maybe it's you who are jumping in too strongly, too impulsively into something. It could be a relationship that's destabilizing you financially. More on this. Yeah, okay, so you've come out of a period. What's this? The Four of Swords. So this is the card that follows this. So whenever you have heartache, strife, relationship issues, conflicts of interest, okay, that causes heartache, okay, afterwards you end up in this situation where you're healing from that. So this is the card that follows this card. After heartbreak, you kind of lock yourself in your room, inside your tomb, and you recuperate and you consolidate yourself. And you deal with that pain to your head, to your communication, to your voice, to your heart, to your emotions, okay? And you wait it out. You spend time out from the world and you just recover. That's what this card's about. It's been taking time out, recuperating from a painful loss and getting your head straight, basically processing things. The fact this is upside down, I'd say that there's a return to this. There's a need to look at a situation that there's a conflict of interest. There's a conflict of wills, okay? And it's causing either destabilization at home or with work, because one isn't addressing this reality, let alone moving on to this phase where they're now processing and recuperating alone, away from that situation. You're not at that point, and that's part of the issue. What's the outcome here? What's the outcome for everyone that picked 24 in this reading? What is the outcome here? Yeah, so I see this is all about learning from your mistakes in the past, and this guy, he's suffered some kind of head wound, right? So there was some kind of altercation or conflict, and now he's got this wall up defensively. He's standing vigilantly, ready to potentially defend himself or attack anyone that might come back, okay? So it's still, this is to do with dealing with events that have passed, conflicts that have passed, events that were unstable and caused you some kind of harm, some kind of loss, struggle, and but also looking to the past to realize your role that you played in this. So this can represent a situation that happened a while back. Nothing's really happened as a result until recently. Things have begun to resurface, and the dog has come back to bite you on the ass, so to speak. And now you're forced to look back and look at the situation and deal with it. And this card's very much about learning from your mistakes, looking back at your involvement in the situation, and maybe even potentially resolving it. So I do see that you're in this situation, definitely, where you feel maybe financially or at home stuck. And there's a conflict of interest. Somebody, the Page of Swords can be somebody who is very naive, fickle, quick to get enthusiastic about an idea, right? But they're not really seasoned, so they can make decisions that aren't based on wisdom, but based on mere curiosity, okay? So you've got that with the Page of Swords, Page of Pentacles upside down, and even that can represent somebody who's very impulsive, physically, like gratuitous, not gratuitous, sorry. Somebody that likes gratification, so somebody that eats a lot. Like, this is the diabetes card, this is the gluttonous card, this is the person who just likes to, sit around, play games, and eat food, and drink alcohol even, all the things that are physical and childish, like when one just wants to escape and be hedonistic and have pleasure, basically. So it can represent that there's a relationship that you're in that's actually causing struggle. There could be a financial upset because of that card. But I'd say that one's jumped into this with too much gusto without thinking about it, because out of sheer curiosity, but they're learning now that it's causing a bit of strife. They're in a situation where they really need to move on and process, or take a break and process, because they're at this point now, like maybe you've been having conflict with your partner, or even conflict with work, if this is work, but I'm sensing this as a partner, and it's forcing you now to be at this point where you can't move forward, and until you look back and you deal with this issue that is causing damage. Okay, so the overall solution here, for those that pick 24. Yeah, so this represents basically somebody who is toiling around, like this guy, and toiling on something, a relationship or work, typically for this card. And he's getting rewards back, he's making profit, okay? However, he's discontent, and he's thinking, okay, this isn't bad, you know, it's not like I'm working hard, I'm getting nothing back, but I'm not truly satisfied. This is like the job that I hate, that pays the bills, but it leaves me feeling depressed or unfulfilled and totally bored, okay? So the solution here, I would say, just looking at this, is to keep working, keep toiling. Don't quit your job if you're thinking about it. This could be a relationship you're in that is taxing you financially, and this is saying part of the solution is to keep working, even though you might have the urge to leave it, and maybe even thinking it's okay to leave it because you've got this relationship. Don't make that mistake, putting all your eggs in that basket too soon. This is to add to the so Page of Wands. So this is about seeking new work or new journeys, new endeavors. And these cards, the fire cards, is more about experience. It's more about connecting with people socially, not so much romantically, but socially. It's about going out there and climbing mountains and achieving things and conquests and all of this for the sake of achievement. It's very similar to Pentacles. So this card can represent ambition, just like the Pentacles cards. However, Pentacles is more about status, money, wealth, materialism, home. Wands is more about working for the sake of actually the experience provided by that work. All right, and achieving things, and helping people, even, like that's part of the achievement. So this represents that indeed part of the solution is keep working, but look out for any opportunities that are coming up. Listen to your intuition, listen to your heart in terms of if something's driving you to go a certain way and take a certain opportunity or a job offer or a line of work that you're not sure about. That this is saying to keep doing what you're doing now, but look into that other thing, or look into other things. And definitely, part of the solution here, once again, is before you can get closure and go to the world, which represents completion, and you're at the end of your phase and you're ready to go into the next level up, before you can graduate, just like when they say in Rapture, right, when we die, we're going to have that judgment day, and we all go to atone for our sins, and then our fate, whether it's in the next life or paradise, hell, whatever, is determined after that judgment phase. And that's kind of what's represented here. Archangel Michael looking over us. Doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, child, priest, or fucking beggar, or rich man, bourgeois, doesn't matter. We're all going to end up being stripped of our garments, stripped of our status just the same, and judged equally based on our actions. So this is about a need for you to, I think, consider moving on from something that definitely you've been toiling at it, but you need to really make amends. Like this card, you really need to look back at your involvement and how part of the damage that you've experienced to yourself has been self-inflicted because you allowed yourself to stay in the situation, or you played a part in invoking some things to occur. Okay, so you've got to accept all that, all right, so that your heart, so to speak, can be balanced on the scales with the feather of truth and weigh even, the feather of reality. You've got to get real with yourself and atone internally and make amends. In fact, this is upside down. This judgment goes to the Sun card. The Sun card. And it doesn't speak anything to me right now, so that's all good. But basically, it's pretty obvious here that don't get lost in judgment either. This is upside down, so I would say you need to accept your role in it, but don't take all the blame. And some people can get carried away with playing victim and taking too much responsibility when shit hits the fan, and it's not cool. It's not cool. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna write the numbers down as I'm about to do the next reading. I think that just makes sense. But before we finish that, I do want to read from here for everyone that picked 24 in that situation. I want to find a suitable quote for that person, please. You see, everything depends upon the psychological headquarters from which we live. Where am I living from? Ask yourself that question. If you don't like your headquarters, you can move anytime you like. Break away. Don't tell anyone about it. Others will either smile tolerantly or mouth sanctimonious babble. Make your escape plans in secret. Never mind if you lose certain friends. You will find others who have also dared. They will be 10,000 times more valuable to you. So definitely I see there's a situation here where you're trapped maybe with the wrong people. Like I said, causing you that heartache, that strife. And this is saying that like you need to leave the situation. Don't let them dictate your psychological quarters. So that, like I said, with the judgment card upside down, is like don't take too much blame on this. Don't let them, you're in control of where you are from. And if you're with people that aren't serving you, and you deserve to find better, make your escape plans in secret. And I do see that that's very applicable for this. Indeed, because there is that idea of you being stuck in this situation. So if you like more information on that, feel free to message me, and I can, do more cards to make the reading more applicable to you in terms of detail and your specific circumstance, okay? If you have any, if that was valuable to you and you don't need more information, do feel free to donate to my PayPal account, gardenvirtuosos@hotmail.com. That's garden and virtuoso, so VIRTUOSOS. That's how I used to do it for my gardening business. Feel free to donate anything. It's all really appreciated and it helps me continue to do what I enjoy doing, but it costs a bit of money to do it, a little bit, and time. It's very exhausting work. So now 17 seconds and 10 for reading 31. So this is for everyone that picked 31. I'm just going to write it as we go. It's going to be so much easier later when I put the timestamps in. So, for everybody who picked the card, the number 31, before entering this video, or upon entering this video, I really should have said at the beginning of the video, clear your mind and choose a number for those that don't read stuff before they go into videos. But if you've just come in now and just whatever, like I've already done 24, feel free to pick a number between 22 and 31 that is not 24. Or if it is 24, go back and watch the reading I just did. Alright, so for everyone that picked number 31, your overall issue here, Ace of Cups. Alright, so this is about an opportunity and a time of happiness and bliss and bountiful returns, bountiful rewards, love, relationships, good connections with people, opportunities just that will make you feel fulfilled, alright? Further to add to that, definitely, so the beginning of new endeavors, new journeys, maybe traveling, okay? Or undertaking an artistic or spiritual enterprise that's really fulfilling and testing. That's what Wands is about. It's all about experience, really, about the human experience of life and learning and growth and desire and fulfilling your desires in a very fiery, impulsive way. And the page is about the very beginning, like a child. It's all about those first steps, entering something with. So this to me is like right now is a time where you're feeling really curious, or something's happened that's making you even maybe feel like a child again. Something really happy, and it's making you, it's like the beginning of a totally new experience for you. And I'd say so far, my first thing I say with these kind of cards together is be careful not to be too impulsive. It's too much of a good thing too soon, and when you just jump all in, can sometimes be a little bit anti-progressive, degressive, regressive. Don't want to regress too much and get lost in that childhood state, lest you stunt yourself from ever becoming a man or a woman. So to further add to that, definitely, okay, so this card is all about rest. It's all about taking time out, and especially resting whilst connecting with people, with really good friends or friends of old, especially like reconnecting with old faces, doing pastimes that you used to do that made you happy and you're doing it now. Whether it's you've taken some time off work for whatever reason and now you're like playing video games and it's fun, or you've hung out with some friends again and maybe you guys are smoking some joints or whatever, or you're going out to the beach a lot, or you're taking a break and you're just seeing an old friend on a farm for a couple of weeks and you're really just smelling the roses. So definitely for everyone that picked 31 when they found this video, I'd say that right now is a bountiful time. I'd say it looks like it could be definitely connecting with people, with friends, even traveling somewhere where you haven't been in a while, and taking a bit of time out there and having a really nice time. So what's the main, if there's an obstacle or if there's a key focus in this reading, what is that? What is that? Yeah, okay. So this warns, because that's the thing with this card. This can warn about getting lost in playtime, spending too much time in playing video games, getting lost in that, spending too much time smoking marijuana, getting lost with your head in the clouds, staying on the beach too long to get burned. Alright, this can represent being lost in nostalgia or getting stuck in a good thing until it becomes worn out. Okay, resting for too long until it becomes stagnant. In some cards, these flowers are depicted as wilting. Alright, and there's actually a wishing well in the background. And there's this boy just staring at the wilting flowers. And the idea is not to find happiness too long in these ideas of what makes you happy and these things you're focused on, when you really need to go to your own wellspring and retrieve that nourishing water from inside yourself. Because nothing on the external world, whether it's a really nice space you've entered or a nice little thing that's going on for a while, nothing lasts forever. It only goes for a while. Some whiles are longer than others. So that's what I sense here. Then the main issue here is this is all about hedonism. It's all about enjoyment of the flesh, physicality, okay? And, allowing yourself to experience pleasure, sensuality, good wine, sometimes drugs, great sex, good food. So all the things that are physical in nature, okay? But also it comes with the warning not to let that fire of desire, it's nice to just enjoy that fire and direct it and say, I'm going to experience this now in moderation. I'm going to experience this in moderation. But when that fire consumes you to the point where you are head up in smoke, playing games all day, not tending to other, greater obligations in life, or focusing on other aspects of your own development, you get lost in just physical pleasure like an animal, right? That's exactly what happens. You become controlled by the fire, which is signified by the devil lighting the masculine tail here. Now the thing is, these shackles that these two people were wearing, because they're shackled to desire, they're shackled to this idea that the only thing that they need right now, and the only thing that makes them happy is that physical sensation, that scratching of the itch, that fix that they need. They become imprisoned and they lose their identity. That's why they're naked. They lose their sense of uniqueness. They just become raw animals, ignited at the root chakra level. And the thing is, these chakras are actually large enough for them to remove from their heads. The only thing keeping them there, to this blank slate where all details of the world are gone. They're just stuck in a room like with a crack pipe all the time, and they've lost sight of the bigger picture reality, is because, they've just become hooked to this thing. So that's what I'm thinking here is the issue. If there's something that's really good, and I'd say this is a relationship, reconnecting with somebody, or doing a pastime, so it could be drug use, or just doing something that you used to do, but this warns, and I'm thinking it's a sexual thing. The issue here, it's not upside down, which is good, but the issue here still is to focus on maintaining a balance and not getting too lost in hedonism, in mindless hedonism, and trying to moderate it. So what's the outcome in this situation for you? What's the outcome in this situation for you? Queen of Cups. Alright, so you will be left. This is actually pretty good. This is looking like a good reading. It's saying that there's a situation. I'm thinking it's a relationship or a really highly sexual period, or someone that you found that you've got great chemistry with. And the outcome is that, I'm going to pull one more to go with this, but I'd say this could be to do with a woman or someone who's feminine in nature, who's very nourishing, who's very emotional, sentimental, very maternal. Okay, so this is all coming out, that the outcome and everything. As much as there is lots of physical pleasure, and you've got to keep that fire under control, that people are going to keep in control, because the queen is a woman who's in control. It's still a very emotional card, so it is somebody that's very loving, and it's very mothering and very nurturing and nourishing. So it's a period of nourishment. This isn't a person. Somebody who is, somebody who likes the arts, loves music, likes to play mother, so to speak, and help people. It's definitely a period of nourishment coming up. Just to add to that as the outcome, yeah, definitely. So healing is an opportunity here. Once again, you got this depiction here of people without clothes shedding their pains, shedding their fears of yesterday, shedding their narratives of yesteryear. So this is all about doing away, because this is after the Tower card, after you remove something from your life that's not serving you, and then you get this card. So it represents that you've removed these garments, you've moved away and stepped out of your old suit, and now you're focusing on maintaining a balance between your subconscious and your conscious mind, between your emotions and your physicality and all of this. So it's all about, this card is all about healing, time out, nourishing yourself. It's all about gaining hope as well. It's all about a time where your hope and your faith is being increased, because you're experiencing some very positive, affirming things. So yeah, crystallization of vision, strong intuition that generally follows a loss. That time where you do process and you nourish and you connect with your subconscious more, and you really think things through, and you start getting an idea in place of what you've lost. You start developing this idea of what comes next, and then you get to a point where you're like, yeah, I know what to do. But there's always that stage of healing. So I'd say definitely the outcome here is there's going to be an opportunity here, if it's with a woman, or if this just represents the general idea of nourishment and the maternal love. There is an opportunity here of healing, of growth, taking time out, resting. Great for the soul. There's a lot of fire in this, so there's a lot of satisfaction. And sex is great. Like hedonism, pleasure is great for recharging your batteries so that you can keep going on through the harshness of life and everything that life entails. It's a really good reading, guys. For all those that pick 24, it's a really good reading. It just warns that, this is a really good thing, and you've got to be careful not to get lost in it. But the outcome seems to be that this will be an opportunity for healing. Now let's just pick one quote for you to go with this. I'm not even going to do the solution, because, I don't see a problem here. And the only thing that it really suggests is, don't get lost in it. Too much of a good thing always becomes bad. But what's the relevant quote for all those that picked number 31? Sorry, not 24. 31. This is for everyone that picked 31. We outgrow people, places, and things as we unfold. We may be saddened when old friends say their piece and leave our lives, but let them go. They were at a different stage and looking in a different direction. Okay, well that's interesting, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? Totally positive card. But here we've got this idea of a separation, of people wearing out their stay or being outdated and needing to just let them go out of our lives, because now it's time to move on to bigger things. So I would say that, like I said, these two things, like I pointed out earlier, is about becoming fixated in something that seems really good, like playing games or smoking drugs all the time, or having sex with someone all the time, and then losing your friends and losing your job because you keep taking days off and you keep cancelling appointments with friends just to keep hanging out with that one love. So this could be that this is something that's very nourishing and very charged, very sexually charged, very emotionally nourishing. But I don't know, this could even be that you've left a situation, you've now entered this. That's why you got this card. Page of Wands, the beginning of a spiritual and a really powerful, desirable journey, as well as the opportunity of an emotionally enriching relationship. So I'd say that maybe you've actually left some people, and now you're dealing with people, or you found somebody that's making you feel amazing. You're having a really good time now. Or it could be for some of you that as much as this is good and nourishing, there is a time limit on that, and it's not meant to be forever. That's all. It's not meant to be forever. So moving on, that was for everyone that picked number 31. So now let's do 30-20, because by the time 30-20 for everyone that picked 25. So for everyone that picked 25, this reading, my friends, is for you. Alright? So for everyone that found this video through all time, doesn't matter where they found it, doesn't matter when they find it, for everyone that finds this video through all time, I want this reading to be applicable to them. Make it general, but fitting and helpful, and give these people what they need to know. If they found this video and they've entered and they picked the number 31 upon entering, or as they were entering, whatever, 31, not 31, God a minute, I'm going to put these numbers away because they keep confusing me. 25, people. That's where we're up to. For everyone that picked 25, Jesus Christ, everyone that picked 25. Okay, 25 for all the time. Okay, issue. So once again, we got the card of toil, of toiling for returns, financial returns, security, wealth, but it's leaving you tired or discontent or bored and you're dissatisfied. So that could be about work. It could be metaphorical for like, about a relationship that you're toiling away at something and it's giving you enough to make you feel okay, but you're still feeling like, oh, is this it? God, I'm bored. Or God, I want to move on. This is not fulfilling, okay? To add to that, okay, so this card is about destitution. You see these people walking and they seem handicapped and quite derelict in nature, and they're outside this temple. So this can represent destitution spiritually and being stuck out in the cold because you're refusing to go into the temple of yourself, alright? So it could represent someone that's so lost and disconnected with source, with a higher, not a higher power, but a deeper place of realizing reality, if that makes sense. A deeper place of relating to things. If you just live on the surface of the world and you think life's all about things happening and getting material possessions and all of this, even if you do wind up the richest man in the world, not derelict, you might still get this card. Because you could still very much be spiritually destitute, locked outside the temple of your own heart. And that's what I mean, operating from a deeper place of relating, appreciating the deeper things in life beneath the surface, beneath pure materialism and shallow desires and gratification. So that can represent this. It can represent actual destitution, becoming homeless. It could be entering financial strife following an injury. And I would say that here, that one is working hard. This is what I'm getting for everyone that picked 25. One is toiling away hard because they're trying to help someone maybe in their life that's handicapped. They're helping their parents, give them money, okay? Or they're struggling with their own debts, their own bills. That's kind of making them feel like this, like facing the possibility of homelessness, facing the possibility of real financial struggle, even bankruptcy, okay? So they're having to work away, and that could be the stress we're seeing here on the guy's face, the discontentment, because they're not able to spend any of this money on like nice things to make it all seem okay, like worthwhile, but it's all going out the window on other people or on a situation that needs the money to stop you from becoming one of these people. Okay, so that's the situation, is working hard to avoid destitution. Okay. Oh, put that back. I'm going to shuffle a bit more. Alright. So what's the key focus here, or obstacle? The key focus. Wow, the devil again. That's a popular card today, it seems. So the devil upside down. So this goes back to 14. And 14 is temperance. So I'd say that one is acting immoderately. One is maybe spending too much money on pleasures, material pleasures like shopping, too much, and it's starting to cause issues in terms of keeping financial stability, getting the bills paid, getting the rent paid, one spending too much money on clothing, you know, or nice pieces of tech or video games, or one spending too much money on drugs or alcohol, something which brings pleasure, okay? And it's could be eating out of your pockets. There's and just in general, this card is about acting impulsively, hedonistically, but being out of control and letting that fire rule you, being ruled by your own hedonistic need to scratch an itch, even at the point where it has you working your ass off and you might be facing, destitution, being kicked out because you haven't been paying the bills because you've been spending everything on fucking something else. So this goes back to the Temperance card because it's upside down. Temperance is all about just basically balancing yourself, similar to the Star card, but it's more about balancing your physicality with your spirit, and not so much the connection between subconscious and conscious. It involves that, but it's more so make sure you're not being too lost in materialism, and bringing your spirituality back into it, or being in your mind at least, being more mindful and not just ruled by impulse, physical, sexual drives, basic primitive drives. So that's the key issue here, I think. Let's just add to that. Yeah, okay, so this is it can represent like one that's fixating stubbornly onto something. They've got their head wrapped around it. They're not listening to other people's advice because they have such a strong-headed approach in this situation that they're not budging, and they're not open to letting the situation change, to letting the situation occur any other way. And maybe they're convincing themselves, no, what I'm doing is fine. This is good. It's all working out. I'm happy. Everything will be fine. I can pay the bills on time. You know what I mean? This can also represent, like, it does represent, like, the first initial idea and realization that begins a domino effect and starts off a new chain of possibility. But I'm sensing this is more a decision that's already been made, or one is being stubbornly defined and ignorant and of communication, information. And if it's not that, it could mean that one is literally now trying to reach out for help. Someone is trying to find people to talk to, maybe trying to find an AA, some kind of anonymous group, to help them if they do have an issue and it's affecting their finances. That right now they're really putting their mind to trying to find a solution to get themselves out of this. So it depends. If this is the problem, it means you're being defiant and stubborn. But if it's part of the solution, the key focus to get out of this situation, being prisoner to your fire, your desire, then it does represent reaching out, finding people to help you, and talking and putting your mind to it, and getting away from your impulse and really just being rational and trying to think what is best, regardless of what I want, how difficult it's going to be. What's the best thing for me to do? Okay. So, what is the outcome here? Yeah, shit. So this is the most positive reading, sorry to say. So this card, if you're reading the Rider-Waite definitions, they will say it represents utter defeat and failure and, just pain, misery, ultimately. But the broader sense of the meanings in a lot more book sense that I've learned, and even just my interpretation over the years, what I've got from this card, is that you're at the end of a situation. You're at the worst point possible. And this can represent this point, like, of complete loss, okay? Complete loss, complete failure, yes. Yes. Or it could represent feeling pinned down. And all of your fears, all of your worst ideas of what could happen are happening. But often our worst idea is simply that. It's an idea. It's not reality. And when those things occur, those things that we fear the most, at the time, it's so overwhelming. It has us feeling like this. It has us feeling utterly defeated. It has us feeling utterly pinned down, and there's no hope, right? But there's a positive element to this card, for the outcome card, for those that pick 25. There's the sunrise coming up, and the beginning of a new day, despite everything else seeming black and full of despair and hopeless, and you can't envision anything else in that darkness. There is a new day full of new possibility. Okay? A new day full of new possibility. So yes, it represents the end of something. Yes, it represents your worst fears being confirmed and coming true. Yes. It represents where you did not want the situation to go, it's going there. It represents that. But at the end, as one door closes on something, you also have a new door opening, and that's that sunrise. You've got a new door of opportunity that will open from this. And sometimes we need crisis events in our lives in order to explode the illusions or delusions that hold us back. Sometimes we've got to hit rock bottom so we can get solid footing on that ground there and push ourselves back up. Okay? And that's what I'm sensing with this card is one is working hard. I have a feeling that for some of you that there's drug issues, and it's at the point where it's so, like, you might be reaching out for help, or this thing is so part of you, especially with people that use meth, it gets into your mind and you lose your own voice. You know, and this voice would be telling you like, yeah, spend all your rent money on this shit. You'll be able to pay it back in 2 days. You'll find work. You know, it would just, these voices of addiction will justify and tell you things to justify going out there and scratching your itch and spending whatever money you can get, even by the most immoral means imaginable. It will justify doing so and convince you that you can make it all okay later. You can deal with that later. You can deal with that later. And that's what I'm sensing here, is that deal with it later attitude that's leading to this. Okay? This can also represent someone that is trying to get a clearer, they're trying to forge a new path, but they do have to accept the death of old ways. This doesn't mean literal death, okay? But more the death of old ways, old habits, old friends, the passing of old friends, saying goodbye, spring cleaning. But there is a lot of pain in this card. There is a lot of seeming negativity that's going to give way to very obvious positivity. Seeming negativity. Seeming, oh, my worst fear is confirmed. Right? But it's necessary in order for growth to ensue. So what's your solution? What's your solution in this situation? That's the outcome, right? What's your solution? Alright, so solution, this card's upside down. So I'd say there's some old friends that maybe you've been connecting with, or you've been stuck in like a pastime, like passing time, something that you've been doing for a while that's not serving you. You need to do away with it now because it's holding you back. And what was a good thing of taking just some time out, doing something fun, is now you being lost to the fire and stagnating because your time out has become a holiday that's taken too long. Too long. Alright. Solution. Yeah, you need to physically move on from this. You need to go back to the Lovers card. This card represents transition and travel, and all of the obstacles along the way that comes with transition and travel into a new life. So this can represent actual moving. Upside down means it goes back to the Lovers. So you're at this forked road where you've got two pathways. One that your heart wants you to go down, and one that your head knows is the right pathway to go down. And it's about your need to find a balanced view between what serves both your heart and your head. But sometimes you got to go with one or the other. Sometimes you got to go all in with your heart and just go against your fears. I would say in this situation you need to go with your head and what you know is the right thing to do. And you need to make a choice, and then you got to get traveling. You got to move on and transition away. I'm thinking you got to choose to go away from the situation you're in. You got to really change something. If you pick 25, you've really got to change something. Let's see what this book has to offer. Okay. In all activities of life, from trivial to important, the secret of efficiency lies in an ability to combine two seemingly incompatible states. All right. The secret of efficiency, so being effective and doing things in an effective, quick kind of manner, all right, lies in your ability to combine two seemingly incompatible states. A state of maximum activity and a state of maximum relaxation. All right. Isn't that interesting? So that's kind of like the solution card. You've got that card, the two children with the cups, resting, taking time out, but you can get lost in that. But then you also got the Chariot card, which is all about movement and transitioning, but you need to make a choice first of where you're moving to. And those two cards, one, the maximum relaxation is what I saw on that card with the two kids smelling the roses, which does represent relaxing. It represents taking time out, doing a pastime, being with old friends, old activities, letting your hair down, having fun, which can be good in moderation. So you got to combine the state of that maximum, and that's what this is suggesting, that you've gone in two extremes, or you've gone in that extreme. You've gone the extreme of doing what just feels good and it was fun. Okay, you got to combine that state of maximum relaxation with a state of maximum activity, and that's the Chariot card, is actually making the choices and moving, transitioning, whether it's by house, moving away from friends, moving even into a different town, so you don't have those influences anymore. In all activities of life, from trivial, not important, to the most important, the secret of efficiency, of getting shit done, getting things done in a way that you want them to be done in an effective way, okay, is about balancing relaxation and activity, but not half-assed relaxation, not half-assed activity. Balancing different states of complete, like Deadpool, maximum effort, right? We actually fully engage. Your foot's actually pushing down. It's not just pulling it into gear, but you're pulling it into gear and you're pushing down. That's a maximum effort. That's actually going to drive you somewhere. It's going to get you somewhere. But you also got to rest. You got to have your truck stops. Otherwise, you might crash if you keep going too hard, acting without resting. So you need to complete. You can't just close your eyes and not sleep. You got to maximum relax. You got to sleep, and then you can push your foot down once you're awake to the metal again. Maximum effort. So that's what you got to do. You might be a little bit stuck in maximum relaxation or maximum hitting something too hard, and you got to find a balance in that and move away from that situation. Okay. So now moving on, we're gonna do everyone that picked number 30 at 46.45. Everyone that picked number 30. Everyone that picked number 30. This reading is for you. Everyone that picked number 30 for all time. For all time. Doesn't matter when you found this video. All time is connected. For everyone that picked 30. And by the way, if anyone finds any of these readings of value, do feel free to donate anything you'd like. Any amount is really appreciated and helps me continue to do what I do. And my PayPal email address will be in the description. Otherwise, it's gardenvirtuosos@hotmail.com. That's garden, VIRTUOSOS @hotmail.com. You just chuck that into PayPal, even if it's $2. Super thankful, super grateful. If you like more information on any readings, just let me know. Just message me, and we'll go from there. All right, so for all those that picked 30, issue. All right, so this card represents that you are walking away from something, a situation, an arrangement, whether it's with work, at home, with family, with friends, relationship. Okay, moving away towards an uphill march and journey. So you're moving into a period where there's going to be work involved, there's going to be risk involved, there's going to be exploring uncharted territory. Okay, you're searching for something, and you're not necessarily abandoning. You could be abandoning, or you could be temporarily leaving and risking losing, because you might get lost in this new place you're going to. Okay, but you're leaving something that's already been secured. These foundations, right? These aren't spilt or anything. These are nicely stacked and arranged in a way that's consolidating. It's consolidated and secured. So these are a situation that something's been secured, and you're moving away from that in order to find the capstone. The capstone. Okay, there's a missing cup, and in order to have a complete, before you can go on and put the next two and the final one on top, you need to go out and seek that thing that will give you more fulfillment, that will fill that gap in your life. So this represents being at a point where you're happy, where you've got good things, you've got security, you've got different things sorted out that's good for you. There's something missing, so you're leaving this thing, potentially risking losing it, or weakening your relationship with it, but because you need to take time out to find something of deeper value or something that's missing. This is kind of like girls leaving their guys because they need to find themselves. As much as they love them, they need to find themselves, and they don't know who they are because they've always been with this guy. That's happening a lot these days. That's what this card kind of represents. It's leaving something good that has security in it, but life's more than just being comfortable and happy and secure all the time. Or comfortable and secure. Like, you got to feel fulfilled. Feeling fulfilled and happy aren't the same thing. Feeling fulfilled and comfortable and secure, it's not the same thing. So that's what this card is about. That's what this issue is about. It's going on to bigger things. Not moving on to bigger things, but going on a quest to find something. Let's have some more on that. Ooh! So the Lovers. Sorry, that was a bit weird. But the Lovers. So this is generally. This is about like being in a forked road, making a choice between your heart and your head. An opportunity to find something that's going to make you very happy and emotionally enriched. The beginning of a relationship, needing to make a choice between a relationship and something else, like a job or travel, or yeah, like I said, the beginning of a new relationship. If it's upside down, then it goes back to you needing to maybe, this could be you walking away from the relationship, and you're going back to the Hierophant card, which is about, you know, figuring out your plan, figuring out the word as the priest takes it from God and puts it into the text form so that we can read that word and know what to do next. It goes back to you needing to have a dialogue with your higher self, stepping away from something, stepping away from the Lovers, which is about making a commitment, making a choice, whether it's a personal or taking another path. Before that happens, you need to have a conversation with yourself, as a Hierophant does, and he puts the word into his book. The book is you, right? And you need to channel, you need to speak to your higher self or to your deeper self. You need to tap into your subconscious, take time out, just like the girl does from the guy, to find herself. You need to go back to the Hierophant, get an idea of where you stand, where you're coming from, and what you want, what you need, before you can go to the Lovers card and make a choice. So I'd say that you're stepping back away from a commitment, from a relationship. Most chances are you're stepping away from that, and that's why this is upside down, in order to go back to that Hierophant card, to really have a dialogue with yourself and establish your basic protocol, your basic understanding of where you're at and what you need to do next. So what's the key focus here? What's the key focus? What's the key obstacle in this? Okay, so I'd say that there could be that there's been a conflict in the situation. There's been an attempt at negotiation that's left somebody else feeling excluded or rejected or neglected or defeated. Even a clash of ideas, a clash of interests, and you've come out on top. But at the same time, you're still not happy about what happened, and you're not impressed. Neither are they. And this could be about them leaving you, somebody walking out because of an altercation you've had, or you're leaving them. You know, there's definitely somebody walking away here in this card. There's the idea of people not taking a path, not taking that commitment, and then the idea of these people walking away and this person standing strong, having gained more for this altercation. So this person came out on top, and maybe they've got like ego points or something, or they've gained, like, if it's a financial battle, they've gained some income from it, but now it's left them also leaving a relationship, and that pathway has been denied now. It's been closed. So there's been some kind of, conflict of interests or of wills, and it's caused a bit of a diversion in your relationship, a bit of a split. More to that. Yeah, and it was to do with a situation where somebody felt, or maybe both of you felt, too overwhelmed. It was too much going on at once, too much expectation, too much responsibility, alright? And basically it led to an attempt at negotiation, and yeah, somebody coming out better for it, and they were relieved of this obligation, but the other people feel now like maybe there's somebody who really needed to be cared for and mothered or fathered and babysat. So this person's like, yeah, I've gained freedom and I don't have to carry this fucking weight of responsibility. But these people are now feeling defeated and leaving sad and with less than what they had, because they're back to being their so sorry, hopeless selves. Who knows? So, what's the outcome here? What is the outcome here? What is the outcome for you? Alright. Cool. So the outcome. Ace of Wands upside down. So this represents. Hang on a sec. I've got a note of this right here, and I wanted to check it out because I actually wrote notes on this card because I'm still mastering all the cards. You sir. I'm still learning. Oh, I don't have it. I do not have it. I lied. Well, I know that this card is about. I'm just going to read this. I'm just going to read this because I'm not absolutely certain. I'm not too fucking certain what that card's about. I know that this is about ambition and feeling desire, the spark of initial desire, and an opportunity that has you impulsively wanting to jump into it, or feeling a strong calling to travel, to journey. Yeah, that's pretty much the outcome. I don't need the bloody book. I don't need no book. So this is about the outcome being that one might be actually repressing this fire, acting on false information and jumping into something that their heart's not really in, that they don't feel really driven to, or they're denying that there's this fire inside them that wants to go somewhere else, that they no longer desire this thing, this relationship. That's what I'm sensing the overall thing is here. There's a need to walk away from something that's offering a certain level of security because there's too much conflict in it. There's too much domination and subjugation potentially. And somebody's feeling defeated. Somebody's feeling in control. It's pushing you guys apart. It's putting a lot of pressure on maybe one of you in the relationship. It's overwhelming. And it's also causing one to repress their fire, to repress their spirit, to repress their ambition, their true desires, as they're compromising too much for this other person. So, sorry that took a moment to come to me, but I'm much clearer on it now. That indeed, if this is the situation, you feel overwhelmed, and if you are the person feeling defeated here in this constant dueling, that would lead to a repression of your fire and taking away of your own voice, taking away of your own vision of what you want to do in your life, because you're becoming an extension or a plaything for someone else. You're an accessory in their life, and you're losing your own drive to do what's good for you. Okay, so I'm sensing that the outcome is you might be thinking about staying in the situation when really you need to move on, I think, at least to find something that's missing. And this could be like a situation where you're like, where it's a good thing, you're a good relationship you're in, but you're missing something and you're putting too much expectation on the other person and you're dominating them too much. And really it's because spiritually you don't even really know what you need to make you happy. So that's why maybe the issue is that you, as much as this is a good thing, you don't need to abandon it. Maybe you need to go away to take time out, find that missing cup, find that space in you, that gap, that void, and figure out, well, how can I fill this myself? Because maybe as much as I try to rely on other people to do everything I need them to do to make me happy, if I don't really know what's going to make me happy and I've denied myself that dialogue with my own spirit, and it won't make a difference what anyone else does. Like, there is a point where you need to be the source of your happiness, and that's, I kind of get that strong as well in this. This could be either way, that you're the one being controlling of someone else to give you everything you need because you're dependent on them and codependent, and you lack your own awareness of, you lack your own source of happiness. You rely on other people for it, and that's putting pressure, or it could be the other way around. So solution, Wheel of Fortune upside down, which goes back to the Hermit card, which goes back to the issue. So the solution is, there is definitely, this doesn't represent the world with its completion of something, and it doesn't represent the end of something. It represents getting to a point where your development in that relationship or whatever it is at a plateau. It's at the maximum point it can get to. And this is the seasonal wheel, all right? And that's the idea with the seasonal wheel. You've always got that which is gaining, that which is gained, that which is losing, that which is lost. And that's like autumn is all about, winter is about loss. And then spring, gaining, summer, gained, and then autumn, losing, and then winter, lost. So you've got this seasonal thing. And the thing is, it's time for the seasons to change. Maybe if everything's been about trying to make gains, trying to build up the relationship, trying to build up whatever this is, it's time to not to leave that thing, but to move with the seasons and accept that now you've got to enter a different phase. So this is about entering a different phase, not the completion of something, but it's literally about the end of summer or the end of spring, and now you're getting your harvest, you're getting your rewards, your karmic rewards for what you've put in, everything you've been working on with your partner, whatever the situation is. It's almost ready for you're at this point where it is time to move with the seasons. Things have changed. The seasons have changed. You're still watering the same crops and giving them the same treatments, even though the seasons have changed, when now is actually the time for harvest. And for you to start adapting to the next season. So it's about entering into a different phase. Before you can do that, this is upside down, before you can do that, you need to kind of do this card, but in the sense of the hermit, and that's the picture of the man on top of the mountain, holding his lantern, taking time out retrospectively to reflect on his life, on this phase that he's just been through, this journey, to process everything, really. Taking time out camping, taking a vacation, a trip, just to sit on things and let their head down and reflect and process and develop their experience that they've had into the light of knowledge and understanding and wisdom, so that they can enter back with adjusted eyes and keep moving forwards. If you stay in a situation too long, you don't take time out to process what you've learned, you never learn anything. If you're just in a class all day learning, and you don't have any time to process, by the time you're 99 years old and the class finishes, you will not know a single thing. You know what I mean? Because you're too overwhelmed. So you need to take time out, take breaks. So before you can move on and adapt with this, I sense in the situation you're in, definitely there's a relationship. Someone's feeling overwhelmed. It's leading to some clashes. Somebody's feeling repressed with their own, what they want to do, their own desires, their own view and vision. Things are ready to change. The seasons are changing. But one needs to step away and really truly reflect quite intimately on the situation, outside of the situation, because you can't see the solution, you can't process it when you're still in it. So we're going to find an appropriate thing for you. Alright, even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness. And the word happiness would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. So that's what I mean here. This is definitely hinting at this idea that there's something good there, I think. There's like some commitment you're in. I say it's a relationship that you need to step away from temporarily. And as much as this thought can make you feel sad and like this is a period of darkness, a measure of darkness, a happy life can't be without the measure of darkness. The word happiness would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. So I'd say that there's something that someone's resisting and they're taking too much, trying to keep everything together, and they're repressing certain things. But it's time for change. It's time for change. It's time to go back to the Hermit card and really reflect on things and process, and then come back and then seeing where to go from there. And it might be tough, it might be hard, stepping away from this thing. It's necessary though, so do it. That's my advice. Alright, so I might just do 5 readings. I might just do 5 readings for now. And then, yeah, I'll do 5 readings, I think. That makes more sense, because this is going for a little bit of time, and it'll probably end up being 2 hours if I do all 10 right now. So I'm going to do from numbers, I've got to do all 10, because I've mixed up all the numbers, haven't I? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I mixed them all up. So I got to do them all. Got to do them all, but I might split it into 2 videos. How's that sound? So now we're doing number 22, 10331. So 10331. Doing number 22. Okay. So for all those that picked number 22, and by the way, if you got anything from the previous reading, feel free to donate anything you would like to my PayPal address included in the description. Otherwise, it's gardenvirtuosos@hotmail.com. Which is GARDNVIRTUOSOS. And it's all appreciated, guys. Thank you very much. Feel free to message me if you want some more information. So for all those that picked number 22, oh, those who picked number 22, across all time, this is for you. Oh, that card again. Hello. Alright, so you are leaving a situation. You're stepping back from a situation where you feel overwhelmed, you're holding too much together, you've got too much responsibility, obligation, too much on your back, too much you're trying to keep together, and you might be you're thinking about delegating, or you're in the process of delegating tasks. If this is at work, you're not just taking on everything yourself. Now you're being realistic and saying, okay, I can't do all this. I'm stepping down in my role, or I'm giving some tasks to other people. It could be even at home or any other situation, relationship, where you are stepping back to the 8 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, which is all about pretty much figuring out where you are now, how you came to be in the situation and take on too much in the first place, and learning not to do that again, learning why you did that. Really, it's just a stepping back from this, basically, is what this card is about. So this reading is about you're feeling overwhelmed. What else? Yeah, okay, so you're feeling discontent. Well, you were discontent, actually. I'm going to say that you were discontent, and you were looking at everything in your life thinking, is that it? And you were even bored, all right, and utterly distracted by what's just there, and you missed, and you were missing opportunities. There was an opportunities for happiness, maybe being more social, and you were just stuck looking at your current circle of friends thinking, is that it? Ugh, totally not satisfied, not happy, Jan. Or it could be like, I hate my work situation, I hate my life situation, and there's opportunities just not seeing because you thought that was all there is. This is upside down though. So this actually goes back to the 3 of Cups, which is the 3 ladies together, rejoicing, clinking their wine glasses together, having a celebration. So it represents a time where maybe you did feel discontent, and you're, 4 is all about consolidating too. So this is also about looking at what you've got in your life, but really needing to make sure you're not missing any extra elements, and not being too distracted by what you've got, and not being open enough to receive what you don't have yet, in order to create a real good foundation for happiness. You need to be open to what you don't have, as well as you can't be too fixated on what you've got, basically. You can't be too fixated on what you've got, because then things get stagnant, things get old, outdated, because you're no longer allowing yourself to be open to what's coming into you now, what's relevant now, what's brought to you for a reason, but you're denying it by virtue of just not being aware of it, because you're fixated on something else. So I'd say you came out of a period where you were assessing everything in your life, and you might have thought, okay, I need to work on my foundations of happiness. I'm not feeling too happy, and this is all I've got, and what else is there? And like I said, maybe you just weren't aware of opportunities that were missed. But now you're stepping back into the 3 of Cups. You're being more social. So I'd say that definitely you're in a situation that was overwhelming. I'm getting that idea from this card of being like kind of discontent and being like, oh, is that it? But now you're stepping back to relax, to take less load, you're reducing the load, and to also socialize more, on focusing on charging your batteries emotionally by connecting with people. Yeah, definitely. And this card is all about arrangement of parties, going to parties, arranging for ceremonies, setting foundations. Once again, you got 2 4 cards here, which is interesting. So you've stepped back from focusing too much on a commitment you made, maybe emotionally, and now you're setting the foundations for like something that's more spiritually fulfilling. Okay, so instead of it being maybe you're in an overwhelming relationship, and you step back from the 4, the foundation of a relationship, in order to be more social, because the Wands cards are very much about connecting with people, not romantically but socially. So the exchange of ideas, and just, it's more about the ego and the want just to have fun with people and express yourself and be noticed. And the Wands people can be very charismatic, and they like to get attention, they like to get amongst the people and make things happen. They're all about what's happening, they're all about experience, they're all about doing things, they're all about climbing mountains. So I'd say there could have been some discontent because one was overwhelmed by their commitments on the Wands level. They're overwhelmed by their commitments in terms of some experiences. Maybe it can be work, all right, or like various commitments they made that made them feel overwhelmed, discontent. So now they've gone back to establishing their foundations. And the 4 of Wands and really redrawing the map, going back to the drawing board and thinking, okay, well, I'm taking a step back, and now I'm arranging different things that's going to help me get my energy back, to help me also relax, not feel so overwhelmed. So I'd say, especially with this card and this card upside down, going back to the Three of Cups, the girls celebrating together, that this is a time of stepping back from obligations and stress and having fun, connecting with people, celebrating, and reorganizing your foundations in terms of what makes you feel alive. So what's the biggest issue here? The biggest key theme for those that pick 22? Yeah, so you're stepping back from a period of, you know, maybe being stuck in a situation for a while, and you felt incomplete, and now you're going out and you're connecting more with people and all this, and I'd say this has been the obstacle for you, that you were in this point where you were recuperating, kind of like in a tomb. You're getting your energy together, sorting out your mind, processing things. This follows the Three of Swords, which represents heartache and strife and loss and all of this, failure. And after you suffer that kind of heartbreak, we do kind of retreat away, and we focus on dissolving the pain of our mind, the pain of our communication, repressed communication, the pain in our heart. It's very much sorting that out and healing and processing everything, and taking a time out. And I'd say that that could be that's the thing here. You need to also focus on healing from being overexhausted, even damaged or hurt, and feeling discontent and all of that. Like, you're either coming out of this phase, okay, you're coming out of a phase of feeling kind of stuck and missing out opportunities, and now you're getting amongst the people and having fun, or this is warning that not to get too lost. Now that you've left a commitment, or you've reduced your commitment to something, don't get too lost in just going wild and having fun, but take some time out to properly process everything that you need to process. Everything that you need to process. So what's the outcome here? Hey, so the Lovers upside down. So there's an opportunity here for a relationship. I think if you're going to be social, there's going to be a chance you're going to meet someone. It says upside down, so if you're already in a relationship, it could represent that it's been too overwhelming. You've been discontent, thinking, oh, is that it? And now you're stepping away from that, and that's why you got this, like I said, this follows heartache and conflicts in love, and then that need to heal afterwards. So it could be that you're setting new foundations, even changing your home, leaving your home with your previous partner. And that could be this card upside down, is the separation of two people, okay? The separation of two people is the outcome. And that's why you're getting all these cards. It's literally, what's really interesting? Actually, what's really interesting? What you've got here? These three cards that we've drawn randomly, all of them are four. Four of Cups, Four of Wands, Four of Swords. Ain't that spun out? So that's really interesting to me. So I'd say that definitely 4 being about foundations, home, work, structure, okay, control, the limitations in your life, just like an emperor, which is card number 4 in the Major Arcana. The Emperor card is all about a ruler that rules his kingdom by setting limitations in place. And if you set limitations in your life properly, rules, basically, boundaries, then you can facilitate harmony in your society, just as the king does in his kingdom. By putting the appropriate rules, he facilitates harmony and progress. But if he's like a tyrant, and if he puts in the rules too strongly and he doesn't listen to the people, and he just does it based on what he thinks needs to be done, then there ends up being discord and rebellion and anarchy, okay? So 4, since you've got 3 of them here, it's very much about your structure in your life, your foundations, and I see a need to reformat spiritually your foundations, a need to take time out to heal mentally and to process information of something that has left you feeling emotionally discontent. All right, emotionally discontent, and spiritually exhausted and overwhelmed. And I'm sensing that definitely It's to do with someone else that you were giving too much to, or they were expecting too much from you and putting too much on you, that you need to emotionally take another cup, walk away from these cups that you've got this person, because it's not making you happy. Otherwise, and needing to heal from that, and also like socialize, mix with different people to help you get through this. It's hard to, like, when you break up, just to do it all alone, to keep your batteries charged. So, but like I said, this can represent meeting somebody if you have been stuck at home and whatnot. But if that's the case, it's going to be a temporary thing, nothing too permanent, nothing too great. Okay, it's going to be some conflicts potentially. But I'm really sensing that it's just, and potentially the end of a relationship that's been too taxing and leaving you feeling unsatisfied. And the solution? Yeah, pretty much. Very complimentary card for this. A very complimentary card for this. It's a card after this. So this card is that discontentment of not seeing that extra opportunity, right? This card is about actual loss, and the person that's grieving and focusing on what is being lost, to the point where they don't acknowledge what's still in the picture behind them, what's still standing up, what they still have that is gained in their life, the good things in their life. And you got this water, the stream, which represents their emotions, and a bridge represents them getting over that stream of emotion so that they may return home to a place of security, sanctuary, safety, happiness, right? Comfort and peace. So before you can go over your emotions and return home where you belong, so to speak, one needs to not get too fixated on focusing on just what they've lost in a situation, the spilt milk, but also look at, well, at least I've got a mop to clean it up, so to speak. At least I had milk to begin with. At least there's more